How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be heading into another new Patreon suggestion. This time, we're going to be taking the suggestion of my patron, Dreadpool. Huge shout out to my other patrons as well. Along with Dreadpool, we have Patrick Sandlin, Mr. Darkness, Always Zero, and John Lister. This week is the Patron What If Week, where I'm taking a suggestion from each of my patrons. Yesterday, we had Mr. Darkness's What If Goku was teleported to King Kai's planet, so if you missed that, be sure to check it out. If you want to get your what if made into a reality, then make sure you go and join the official Demo What If Patreon, so you can suggest the what if to me and have it turned into a video. So that is what is for you, Dreadpool, so I hope you enjoy it. Now, my main worry for this scenario is that there have been two other big what if YouTubers who have done this, Carthu's Dojo and Goku T23. Now, while I haven't watched Goku T23's version because I'd honestly rather die than watch that video, I've seen Carthu's Dojo's version. Now, while obviously mine isn't going to be as popular as his, this was a Patreon suggestion, so I'm totally gonna do it. I'm going to be making this my own series, and not take anything from Carthu's version. I know that even with me saying that, people are gonna say that I ripped off Carthu, because of course they are. But trust me, please give this video a chance, and I'm not ripping off anybody. With all that out of the way, let's start off this new series. We begin once King Vegeta decided to send Broly to a far-off world. While he does think Vampa would be a good location for the boy to go and die, he does see another planet that would be a more valuable one. Earth. While Broly probably wouldn't just die there, he might take it over and actually be useful. And if he dies, then there's nothing of value lost. Broly is sent off to Earth, and Paragus doesn't follow behind his son, as King Vegeta lied to him and said this could be his first real mission. Paragus doesn't feel the need to save his son, as he doesn't need to be saved. Meaning, Broly lands on Earth by himself, with nobody coming after him. Now, while Broly really could land anywhere, I'm gonna say that he was sent off to Grandpa Gohan's. As if he lands anywhere else, then he's probably going to be forgotten. This what if is about Goku and Broly, so it's best if we don't separate them. Broly is found by Grandpa Gohan, who tries his best to comfort the child, and Broly is very rowdy, not wanting to be controlled by anybody. Sure, he's not going to want to destroy the planet, as he's not programmed to do so, but he just really wants some food. Broly is much stronger than Grandpa Gohan, but of course, Gohan isn't going to be beaten around by a kid, since he is very skilled in martial arts, and can dodge most of Broly's strikes if he actually tries to attack him. Broly wouldn't exactly be trying to kill Gohan though, as I'm pretty sure if Gohan just gives him food, he'll be completely fine. Now, here's where another change is going to occur. Jocko gets the information that a Saiyan was heading to Earth, and he heads to Earth as he does in canon to get the Saiyan. Of course, everything with his series happens differently, since he's arriving roughly 7 years before Goku. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's around 7 years before Goku comes to Earth, since Broly was exiled in age 732 of canon, and Goku wasn't sent to Earth until age 739. Jocko's story would go much different, and he would track down Broly with no difficulty at all. Jocko tries his best to apprehend the Saiyan, but Gohan does his best to protect him, and make it so that Jocko doesn't need to take Broly. Jocko hasn't learned his lesson of humanity through Omori tights, so he's not taking no for an answer. Broly isn't either, and when Jocko goes to apprehend Broly, he doesn't hold back, and Broly tears Jocko to shreds. Gohan has to use all of his strength to get Broly off of Jocko, but by then, it's too late. Jocko has been killed. Gohan feels terrible for the space cop, but he was threatening him and this kid, so it's really his fault that he's dead. Gohan decides that he's now going to train Broly in manners, and not just blindly killing people he doesn't like. And unfortunately for Jocko, the Galactic Patrolmen really didn't care for him, so they really don't investigate this matter that Jocko has been killed. So, poor Jocko. Rest in peace. Broly is trained by Gohan over these years, and now it's time to bring up a very important plot point that I've seriously never heard anybody discuss before. In canon, Gohan told Goku never to look at the full moon, right? Well, how would he know that? Does he just know all about Saiyans, or did Goku transform before? And Gohan survived to tell Goku not to look at the full moon. That's right, the latter. Goku transformed to a great ape before he killed Gohan. That's how he knew to tell Goku not to transform. So even if Broly becomes a great ape, I'm pretty sure Gohan would survive and tell Broly not to look at the full moon. Broly is more compliant with Gohan, so he wouldn't just pull a Goku and look at it when he uses the bathroom. He would just not look at the full moon whenever. Broly and Gohan would become very close like family, and since Broly is so strong, Gohan gets some big gains in power. As Broly doesn't gain much more power, but a lot of technique. This training between the both of them is very beneficial. And after almost a decade together, they get a new visitor, Goku. Now, while Broly would probably be named Goku, and our Goku named something else, For simplicity, we're going to have the two keep their own names. Gohan asks Broly if he knows his child, as they has the exact same pod and armor as he did when he arrived, and Broly has no idea. He knows that they must come from the same place, but doesn't know where that could be. Goku is a very rowdy child, but Broly actually enjoys taking care of him, as this kid is fun to play with, and acted just like him when he was really little. Broly is able to calm this kid down much by playing with him, and Goku enjoys it a lot too. The boys become much closer, much faster, with Broly mainly carrying around Goku all the time, so I don't think he'd ever fall and hit his head. Goku wouldn't become evil though, as with proper nurturing from Gohan and Broly, he's going to become a good person. The three live and train together, with Goku loving training with Broly, as he gets very strong very fast. And all these three training so hard together makes everybody increase in strength. Of course, Gohan would tell Goku not to look at the full moon, which he does eventually and becomes a great ape. Broly would be mortified to learn that this is why Gohan told him not to look at the moon, and Broly and Gohan work together and try and defeat the great ape Goku. Broly of course has to do all this without looking at the moon himself, and has to figure out a way to get Goku to stop. Gohan squeezes Goku's tail, and Broly takes the power pole and uses it to slash Goku's tail clean off. Goku reverts back to normal, and Broly apologizes to his grandfather for turning into a monster like that before. Gohan tells Broly that it's not his fault, and he should have told him himself. Once Goku comes to, Broly and Gohan make sure to tell Goku to never look at the full moon, as if he does, he's going to become a giant monster, and he might harm a whole lot of people. Since Broly found this out, now he's going to be training himself and try to harness his form into himself. That way he can never become that horrible monster. More years pass, and Broly instantly grows up to his adult body, which leads to better training between himself and Gohan. Now for power levels before we get into the series proper, so you can know how much everybody has improved due to Broly's presence. Broly as a kid was around 920, and with all of his training he's done for years, I'm going to say that he's around 2500s. Mainly since Gohan has gotten up there through training with him. Gohan is able to fight Goku in Baba's tournament without many issues, so he had to be around 120s or 150s in terms of power. While Gohan wouldn't be up to Broly's level, I'd say he's around the 900s range. Since he's been training with Broly and Goku for so long, Goku himself would be much stronger too, as training with Broly and Gohan has made him a stronger fighter, more skilled and intelligent. Goku and Broly training together is even better, as after a more intense training session, the two Saiyans get a Zenkai boost, which boosts their powers even more. Goku has gone from his normal level of just 2 to around 1500 in power. Yeah, training with somebody as strong as Broly for most of your life is going to be very beneficial. I mean, you can argue that he'd be even stronger, but since they don't have any ways to heal faster, they're not going to get as strong as they would with Senzu beans and all that. These three have gotten very powerful through training together. And this is all before Bulma even shows up to start the hunt for the Dragon Balls. And of course, when that day finally arrives, Gohan tells the two boys that they should go off with Bulma on his Dragon Ball hunt, so they can finally go out into the real world and experience it. Bulma is totally willing to have Broly come along with her, since he looks like a hunk, and the three go off. This experience is much easier than in canon, as since Goku is so much stronger, and Broly is there too, Roshi promises to train the two boys. Oolong is unfortunately killed by Goku as he tries to run away, as Goku didn't expect him to go down so easily. Yamcha is flicked away by Broly, and never seen from again, since he's terrified of Broly. The Rabbit Mob is easily defeated by Broly just shooting a ki blast at them, and finally, Pilaf is defeated with no difficulty. When the Dragon Balls are all finally gathered, Bulma doesn't need to wish for the perfect boyfriend anymore, since she already sees that in Broly, so she leaves the wish to them. Broly and Goku don't exactly need anything, but Broly decides to ask Shenron who they are and where the two came from. Shenron explains to them that they are both sent here under different circumstances from a planet called Vegeta. They are both members of the Saiyan race and escaped the planet after a meteor took it out. Broly and Goku are kinda shocked to hear this, as they're the lone survivors of an extinct race apparently. Bulma doesn't get it either, but says that explains where the tails came from. Bulma asks Broly if he wants to go with her into the city and try to live a normal life, but Broly doesn't want to leave his brother just yet, and says that she can come and visit them if she'd like. The group go their separate ways, and the two brothers go back to Gohan and ask if he wants to come along to train the Roshi as well. Gohan tells the boys he'd love to come and see his old master again, and the three all go off to see Roshi. Instead of Roshi training them, the three train Roshi, as they're all much more powerful than he is. When Krillin arrives, he trains with Gohan too, and Roshi's island is just one big training ground. Since Roshi is so interested in gaining power to match these three, he's not the master here, so the group never attend the 21st World Tournament. Broly, Goku, Gohan, Roshi, and Krillin are all training together to increase their powers for much longer, and with Bulma occasionally dropping by to check up on her boyfriend Broly. With these guys all training, this leaves the Red Ribbon Army to go and gather the Dragon Balls themselves when they become active, since this new Dragon team has no need for them anymore. For more details on how the Red Ribbon Army would go without Goku, check out What If Bardock Gave Goku His Foresight Part 4, as that explains what the Red Ribbon would be up to here. And if you're too lazy to check that out, number 1, shame on you, and number 2, the Red Ribbon are still going on, with Commander Red not being the leader anymore. They also have no reason to go about making a lot of androids, so no worries about Cell or the other androids as of yet. These next few years really have little to no effect on anything, them also nailing the 900s range and power, while Gohan is up to 1900s. Goku and Broly in a whole nother league though, with both of them training very hard together and boosting their powers and skills a lot more. Goku has gotten to around a 3000 power level, while Broly has hit a whopping 4.5 thousand. At this point, Broly could probably match up with Nappa and defeat him. So all of this training together has made everybody insanely powerful. Hey guys, Future Damon cutting in. Real quick, I just remembered that I completely forgot that the Red Ribbon Army would still be a thing. So I'm just gonna quickly go off a scenario off the top of my head of what would happen with the Red Ribbon Army in that 3-year training period where everybody's training on Master Roshi's island. So I'm gonna quickly get into that, and you're gonna see me talk about it. So cool. Well, pretty much what I think would happen is that the Red Ribbon Army, which is now commanded by Officer Black, I'm pretty sure that they would still go about their normal Red Ribbon lives, just going around killing a bunch of people, because of course they would. And eventually, they do decide to track down Dragon Balls again, and they would most likely collect them all and wish to rule the world. And I don't know how this wish would really play out along everybody, because this wish I don't think would make everybody just complete slaves. I think it would just be that the Red Ribbon just completely just overthrows the government and just takes over everything. They don't enslave minds, I'm pretty sure, but they just take over all the buildings and stuff, and it become the rulers of the world. Now, with the world being taken over completely, I'm pretty sure that Roshi, Goku, Broly, and everybody would just instantly be oh crap, these guys just took over the world and they're bad news, we should probably go and do something about that. So I'm pretty sure that the gang would go and track down the Red Ribbon Army's main base of operations now, and just do their best to just completely wipe them out. Now, while the Red Ribbon does have a million more soldiers because they took over the world, I'm pretty sure that all these guys, since they're so much stronger now, would be able to just completely mop the floor with them. So even though the Red Ribbon Army got their wish to take over the world, it wouldn't last very long, as Broly and the others would just completely take them all out in no time flat. Now, this might change something very big down the line, because now that the Red Ribbon Army got to take over the world for a half hour at most probably, they have a lot more supplies and stuff. They have a lot more access to this technology. Even though they got overthrown pretty fast after they became the rulers of the world, they have access to a lot more technology, which for Dr. Gero is going to be something very interesting. So I just wanted to throw that in there, and I'm really sorry that I forgot to put it in the script. I just realized after I just recorded it, oh crap, I should probably talk about these guys. So that's what happened to Red Ribbon Army in that time period. They just gathered Dragon Balls, world domination, failed at that. Now Gero has more technology, so Cell down the line gonna be just a little bit stronger. So yeah, now back to the main video. Sorry for cutting in like that. After years of working together, now the group decided to join the 22nd Martial Arts Tournament to test their skills. Of course, Roshi and Gohan hide their identities from the tournament goers, as Roshi becomes Jackie Chun and Gohan becomes Jet Li. For this tournament, Gohan takes Manwolf's place, while Broly takes Yamcha's, since Yamcha isn't around at all in this scenario. The Turtle School would all meet up at the Crane School, and while Tien would try to be intimidating, he is literally nothing compared to these guys. The first match would show that off, since Tien would fight Broly right off the bat, and be wasted with no difficulty. Tien would be beaten so badly, he would have had the senses kicked into him about the life he's chosen, and if it's really right for him. The next fight would be Jackie Chun versus Jet Li, and this is a nice bout between master and student, showing off how powerful they become after all this time. Of course, Gohan is the winner after a nice match, with the students surpassing the master. Krillin fights Chaozu next, and since Krillin is so much more powerful than Chaozu, the telekinesis doesn't work on him, and Chaozu is knocked out easily. With both Crane students taken out in no time, Shen yells at them all for being useless, and failing to a bunch of nobodies. Tien doesn't take too kindly to Chaozu being talked like this, and with one swift kick, Shen is knocked away. Tien and Chaozu don't just instantly join up with the Z Fighters though, as Tien didn't get as big of a lesson in humility here, so he's still kinda skeptical. Next match plays out exactly the same. The next match would be between Broly and his grandfather, which obviously Broly would win, but it's a nice match for these two, since they know everything about each other. It's not as much of a curb stomp as you think, as Broly lowers his power so he can have a nice fun match with his grandpa. Goku and Krillin fight out next as in canon, with Goku being the winner by a landslide, and the two brothers go to fight it out in a tournament final. Goku vs Broly is a gigantic matchup, with the two going head to head and unleashing all of their new skills. Broly has the obvious power advantage, but Goku is able to keep him on his toes with his superior battle tactics and agility. His small size does help him out into sneaking some blows as well. Overall though, Broly's rising power as he fights gets to be Goku's downfall, and Goku runs out of energy after too many taxing hits, meaning Broly becomes the winner of the tournament. After the tournament, Tien and Chaozu tell the group that they want to join up with them afterwards, and see if they can be as great as these guys, which of course everybody will be down for. Now, while the group don't have the Dragon Balls now, Tambourine would still show up to collect the tournament roster, and if he comes across literally anybody, he's going to die, as Tambourine is just pure fodder compared to everybody right now. Roshi would notice the demon insignia that Tambourine was carrying, and realize that the Demon King Piccolo has returned. The group would wonder what to do, as this Demon King sounds really terrible. What could he be after? How did he escape? The group stay at the tournament, talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out answers, when Symbol arrives next to get revenge for his brother. Poor Symbol doesn't stand much of a chance either, and Roshi asks him where Piccolo is. Symbol refuses to answer, and with his dying breath, states that his father will come for them. Roshi is all pumped now. These demons so far haven't been any trouble. He's trained and become much more powerful. Maybe now he can actually defeat Piccolo himself. Of course, Piccolo does arrive looking for the one who killed his children. Roshi tells the others to step back, and that he'll take care of this one. He pulls out a small jar that he has always kept in his pocket, and places it on the ground, telling Piccolo that this is the end for him. Piccolo realizes what is happening way too late, and the Mafuba is unleashed upon him. Piccolo is swallowed up by the Mafuba, and sealed away. Roshi doesn't die this time either. He has grown much stronger through all of his training, and while the Mafuba is extremely taxing on his body, his endurance has grown much more, and he's able to survive. Roshi puts the jar back in his pocket, and decides he needs to bury it somewhere nobody will ever find it. Once everybody arrives back at Kame House, Kami drops down to Earth, and thanks Roshi for being the one to seal away Piccolo. Of course, Roshi freaks out thinking this is Piccolo, but Kami reassures him that he is the guardian of this planet, and if he wants confirmation, then he should go and ask Korin. Roshi remembers Korin talking about the god, and he apologizes. Kami accepts Roshi's apology, and he takes Piccolo's seal, bringing it up to the lookout himself. That way, he can watch over it, and nobody can ever open it again. Goku and Broly were intrigued by Kami, as he apparently is the god of this planet, but they don't feel a super strong connection with him, as they can tell that they far surpass him in terms of fighting ability. Since the tournament prep is over, Gohan, Goku, and Broly decide to return to their home, to continue their lives, saying goodbye to everybody else. The three continue to train together by themselves for the next few years, hoping to see the gang again at the next martial arts tournament. Bulma stops by their home very often to getting close with Broly, and the two start getting pretty serious together, which makes Gohan very proud. Goku has aged up to his adult self as well, and is happy that his brother is putting himself out there more. Next tournament is something I don't want to cover much of, as without Piccolo Jr., it's not the most interesting story. It's just the same characters going up against each other, and Broly would most likely still take the top spot, with Goku in second place again. The ending of this arc is different though, as the Saiyan brothers decide to go their separate ways with their new wives. Goku did still engage Chi-Chi during this tournament, and Broly engaged Bulma. Goku and Chi-Chi go off to build a home together in the woods with Gohan, while Broly goes off to live with Bulma at Capsule Corp. Of course, the two brothers still visit each other to train every now and again, but they're making their own lives for themselves in the meantime. Especially with their two kids, Gohan and Bra. That's right, Bra is now the child of Broly and Bulma, and she's going to be a much bigger character in this series. I'm going to be leaving this episode right here for now. We've dived into the entirety of the original Dragon Ball here, with Broly being sent to Earth alongside Goku, which has created some drastic changes. The biggest ones being no Piccolo Jr. and no Yamcha. How is Dragon Ball Z going to turn out now too, with everybody being much stronger and an extra Saiyan around? Guess you guys are just going to have to wait until part 2 of this scenario. I hope you enjoyed this part, Dreadpool, and are looking forward to the next one. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again, see you later!